everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Umineko When They Cry. In the last episode, life began anew. That's all I'll say. I like to freak out a lot, and it's sort of like 75% legit, 25%, you know, hey, I gotta be entertaining. But seriously, when you make a new witch, and you make sentient life, like, what am I supposed to do? At least the bunny rabbits existed already, but holy shit. Anyways, before we begin the chapter, I gotta give a thank you out to Massimilio Perselli. I hope I said your name right. This person decided to translate these little blurbs. Yeah, all of this stuff. Now, I will say that in grade school, I looked at all these fancy fonts, and I was like, the hell is this? Why do I need to learn this? And because of that, I actually have a hard time reading things that are semi-script or fully script. Don't even get me started on cursive. That's like, for the longest time until I started to have to sign my name, that was like a whole new language to me, and I still have trouble with it. But with that being said, let's go through from top to bottom exactly what is being written in these little blurbs. So again, thank you to Massimilio Perselli. I hope I say your name right. Anyways, let's begin. Legend, Chapter 1. Welcome to Rokenjima. The Golden Witch extends her heartfelt greetings. First, please put yourself at ease. There's nothing too difficult to think about. Accept entirely silently the events to happen. That is all I ask of you. The difficulty is standard. Shall we first take the easy road? And honestly, yeah, that reflects Chapter 1. There's no battle of wits. There's no weird logic here or there. It's just, hey, you know, things are happening. People are dying. So, yeah. Turn, Chapter 2. Good morning. The Golden Witch impatiently awaits you. Please accept her as your opponent. Being well rested, have you managed to think carefully about your next move? The witch expects great things of you. From the opening on, in this waging, put all your spirit. I, too, look forward to your next move. Difficulty is first rate. The witch intends to make you surrender with no warning. And yeah, Chapter 2 was pretty difficult. There were closed rooms left and right. Beatrice was merciless in Chapter 2. It was a very one-sided battle. Very one-sided. And we had no quote-unquote allies. So, yeah, that's Chapter 2. Banquet, Chapter 3. Good morning! I'm surprised that you still haven't been made to surrender. The Golden Witch is very much expecting you. I wonder if you have already noticed this world structure. There can be no contest without knowing the rules. Please, enjoy the witch's game to your heart's content. The difficulty is equal. Equal for both you and the witch. I'm not sure if this really translates well to Chapter 3. I mean, I guess it was equal, considering we had allies, but Chapter 3 was so weird in that, like, you had Virgilia, and then you had Evatrice that just came in and fucked everything up. And then, supposedly, you know, they were on our side, but in truth, it was all a ruse. I mean, I don't know how it was equal considering Beatrice was the mastermind the whole time. Bullshit, it was equal. So I don't think Chapter 3 is a very good description of what's to come. And finally, this chapter. Alliance, Chapter 4. Good morning, what a surprise that you still haven't been forced to surrender. By this point, I must expect a lot from you. Games do not only take place on the game board. This time, how about taking a little peek at the outside? They say that if you know your enemy, you need not fight 100 battles. The difficulty depends on you. Your style of fighting up till now will influence the difficulty. And this perfectly sums up Chapter 4. We look into the world beyond Rokenjima. And we have to know Beatrice inside and out. And that last bit on the difficulty, yeah, that entirely is based upon how you accept the events to come. For me, I like to look at both magic and the possibility of there not being magic equally. And because of that, I sometimes have a hard time grasping what's going on because I'm overthinking things a lot. So, in my opinion, the difficulty is very high for me because I'm trying to grasp one thing, and then another thing happens, and now I'm trying to make sense of that, and then magic happens, and then I freak out about a fucking lion coming to life, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, thank you to Massimiliano Priscilla for letting me know about that. Anyways, let's actually get into the game. Where was my last save? It was this one. This one right here. I've got my water with me, so no worries. The world 12 years later. Is this in Saint... what was it? Saint... I don't know. Someone actually told me, someone mentioned to me that the school that, Angie goes to is literally the exact same school that Shion goes to. And they sent me a link, and yeah, it is the exact same school. Word for word. Name for name. Now, whether it is, like, supposed to be like that, I think it's St. Lusitania, or whatever. I don't know. So this is 12 years in the future. This is the future where... Is this the future where Angie and, Fuck, what was their names? Wait, I have a fucking thing. Yeah. It was Unkongli and, this guy. Juza. And then there's this person. I love how sometimes we get a full fucking, like, sprite, and then other times we just get, like, a picture. It's weird. Oh, hello, sir. How are you doing today? I think I've stated this before, but as someone who came from Higurashi, anytime there's a sprite on screen, I always think that it's an important character, because Higurashi didn't even give the fucking village leader a sprite, for crying out loud. The original visual novel did not give Kimiyoshi a sprite at all, and that, considering he was the head of one of the three main families, that was really fucking weird. So I expect, you know, sprites like this guy to be important. But in Umineko, it's completely different. It's entirely possible that this is just a one-off character who we'll never know about again. We'll see once in this chapter, then we'll go to the events of Rokunjima, and we'll never see him again. It is entirely possible. His true life work was the study of occultism, Western magic, alchemy, and everything to do with the occult. Huh. Demonology. Can you tell me about the events that happened in Higurashi? And I heard the sound, so... Professor No, wait. 2 O's in Japanese means U. Okay. Professor Utsuki. The professor at a certain college, well known as an authority on the study of Western folklore. He's also famous for his hobby of researching the Rokunjima witch legend as one of the witch hunters. The witch hunt is primarily focused on the straining of occult superstitions to explain the truth of Rokunjima's crime rather than doing so scientifically. And its diligence and enthusiastics of a mystical primary view as a mental game. So this actually brings me to something. You may notice that it says The Witch Hunt. Yes, that is actually a reference to the people who fan-translated the whole game series. If I remember, they were translating the game well early. In fact, I know for a fact that when my Let's Play of Higurashi, When They Cry Kai, hell, I think even ended, Witch Hunt had not even gotten done translating Chapter 8. So Witch Hunt has been translating since the very beginning. And Ryukishio 7 knew about this and decided to reference them. Or at least, either he referenced them or they changed the name of something to reference themselves. I think it's the former, though. I think 07 outright referenced witch hunters. For those of you who have the Manga Gamers edition that came out, I don't fucking know when the Manga Gamers version of this game went out. Let me know if they have witch hunters as a group, because if they do, it was 07 who translated it, or who wrote it in. That also reminds me, I did find out that they are currently working on Chiru. Like, here's the thing, they gotta split up their duties between Higurashi and Umineko, because right now only Higurashi 1 through 5 is out, as of this point, on July 25th. I don't know when Chapter 6 is gonna come out in Higurashi, and I don't know when Chiru is supposed to come out. That's the thing though, like, Higurashi is released in chapters. I don't know why it's released in chapters. And Umineko is released one at a time. Or, yeah, Umineko's released with 4 chapters all at once. It's weird. It's really weird. Speaking of that, like, a lot of people have talked to me, when I did that Higurashi stream, they talked to me about the sprites of the game. And I know that my Let's Play is controversial because I don't give in to the demanding request to patch the shit out of 07's original work and get better sprites. But a lot of people don't like the Steam version. And it's weird. It's really weird. Because you'd think that people would like better sprites. And we're not talking about the fact that the background hasn't changed, we're talking about the sprites themselves. People really don't like the Steam version sprites of this game. I think they're okay. I do agree that Higurashi got a better treatment in terms of sprite overhaul than Umineko did when it came to the Steam ports. But even still, like, they're much better than the original. Now, whether they're better than the PS3 version that Alchemist did, that's where people debate on. Honestly, if you ask me, I love the originals. They have a charm, but I do understand that, it's not for everyone. But when it comes to whether or not the PS3 sprites are better, in terms of Higurashi, I think the Steam version is better, but in terms of Umineko, I would concede and say that the PS3 sprites are much better. It depends on which game you get. And speaking of that, I really gotta dock both wikis. I'm trying to stay away from the Umineko wiki as much as I can, obviously, but the Higurashi wiki, they have not updated their pages at all to include the the Steam sprites. The only character, as of now, that has the Steam sprite as, like, one of the sprites that you can look at on the site is Rena. Rena's the only one. If you go to Higurashi's wiki, which is the When They Cry wikia, only Rena has the same sprite, which, considering Chapter 5 is out, makes me really want to know what Keiichi and Satashi's sprites look like. Actually, I think in the Steam download, they showed Satashi's sprite, if I remember, but they did not show Keiichi's sprite. There are also a lot of characters from this game that I want to know what their Steam sprites look like. Like, for one thing, I want to know what Beatrice's Steam sprite looks like, because I've only seen pictures of the PS3 sprite. I'm talking a lot because this guy is boring. This guy is literally boring to me. That's the downside to some parts in Umineko. Like, I will bitch about the very beginning of Umineko When They Cry, because if you have not read or watched the series before, the beginning takes forever. before the first murder, it literally takes forever. But once you get past that, and once you get later into the series and you look back, you're like, man, that intro, that exposition in the very beginning, it actually did tell us a lot. But there are some times here and then where things just go so slow. Like, I want to go back to Bottler and Beatrice, but I'm here with Mr. Chairman talking about the legend of the witch and how they're debating if it was real when I know for a fact it is! Like, that's kind of the problem. Like, I know they don't know, but I know! Like, we're looking at a fragment. Oh, by the way, someone told me, I think a couple episodes ago, I don't remember when, but I like, there was a word, it was like kakatara. That's Japanese for fragment. If you play Higurashi Daybreak, it's actually, it's actually in the game. As, like, I think I have not figured out Daybreak's controls at all, because I don't have a patched version that tells me what the fuck is being read. I didn't even give the, SKYPE's paper on a wine bottle was... Okay, alright, so, hold on. My theory's correct. My theory is correct. Angie has the ability to look into different chapters, and that is huge! Why? How do I know this? Because that's Maria's bottle from Chapter 1. If you remember at the end of Chapter 1, she wrote down in a very Onakakashi manner. I think I remember that. It's like, by the time you read this, I'll probably be dead. Signed, Ushiromiya Maria. Like, I didn't think that was ever gonna come back, but no! Someone fucking, like, found the bottle! This is the aftermath of Chapter 1 for some reason. And it makes me think. It makes me really think. How the hell does this work? Because it's stated that Eva was alive in this timeline. But how the hell could that be true if Maria left that bottle? How? And before you say, oh, she left it before she died, remember in Chapter 3, she was the she was the second Twilight! She was literally the second Twilight! So there's no way in Chapter 3 she could have wrote that bottle, but we do know that she wrote it in Chapter 1. Anyways, what was I talking about before? Oh yeah, Daybreak. Daybreak, I don't have a patched version that translates what the fuck is being said. The only thing I know is, well, from what I remember in Higurashi When They Cry, read the anime, because the game was not, the VN was never translated for me. But Daybreak is a weird game, and it has terrifying art. I know I like Ryukishio 7's art, but seeing it turned into 3D is not something I was prepared for, or anyone was ever prepared for. Ugh. If none of you have ever played or seen Daybreak, look it up online, look at the cutscenes. It is spectacular. It is something to be beheld. Anyways, I'm going back and forth because, I don't know, this is the first episode in, like, my recording session, so there's a lot I want to talk about. I want to talk about Daybreak, I want to talk about, you know, what was going on. By the way, I'm going to be recording for 25 minutes. I've noticed I've been recording for 25 minutes for the last couple of videos, but I'm doing it specifically on this one because of that whole intro I did. Yeah, there was a lot of things I want to talk about, a lot of things people pointed out. That's pretty much what happens, and then after that it kind of mellows out and I start talking about the game more. But seriously, I'm still wrapping my head around that Maria bottle, because there's no fucking way that could have happened in this world. For fucking context, that's like finding the fucking miso soup bottle in the Sonozaki house in Chapter 7, rather than Chapter 5 or 2 when it actually happened. Alright, you don't find stuff from other chapters in a different fragment. How? How? They were like the first, besides Kinzo and the rest, they were the first people to be murdered. There's no way she could have wrote that fucking letter. That's bullshit, and you know it, 07. Oh my gosh. I can't even. When did she do this? Did she... Okay. Am I not remembering something from Chapter 1, where as soon as she got on the boat, she wrote a letter and put it in a bottle? Or she just does that as a hobby? Because I swear to fuck, she only does that at the end of Chapter 1. It is outright stated that she leaves the bottle and she says, by the time you read this, I will be dead. That's the only bottle in the whole fucking series that I know about. Like, how the fuck? I can't. Written from an account from the day before the accident until the day of the accident. So that would be October 4th and October 5th. Both have to be lies! How the fuck in Chapter 3 does this one, like... 07, you're contradictor! Fuck! You have in a world where Maria died way early in the events of Chapter 3. Like... Gosh damn, she died by like... what was the clock when she died? I don't fucking remember. Both diaries outline a serial murder following the epitaph, but the order of sacrifices, the way they died, and even the tale of the 2 days were different. What? No. No. Could it be? Alright, I'm just spitballing here. Are those scraps of paper not only from Chapter 1, but Chapter 2? Okay, it is conceivable at the end of Chapter 2. No, because they weren't on the shore when they died. They were, like, in the forest. So, let me get this straight. This is the aftermath of Chapter 3, in which case we find a bottle containing the events of possibly Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. How the fuck does that work? How? Or, hold on, maybe they're not from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, but if that is the fucking case, then how the hell does it have Maria's signature on it? I'm not trying to nitpick, I'm trying to wrap my head around how these bottles exist. They are 2 different bottles with 2 different sets of murders that happened in which everyone in the end died, but fucking Eva was still alive. I feel like a witch hunter. I feel like a witch hunter right now. I am a witch hunter. And if this game is like, oh, witch hunters are people who try and figure out the mystery, I am up there then. I am a witch hunter. Where's the smoking gun? Okay? Where's the smoking gun? Yeah, because they can't exist! Okay, I'm not... Fuck! Okay? I am not trying to poke holes in this, but for fuck's sakes, when you have a message in a bottle written by someone who died before any of her relatives did, she and her mother were the first fucking people to die, and the bottle has a list of fucking people who died beforehand, that literally can't happen unless they are from the Marias from the previous fragments, or the previous game boards, in which case, unless there's a witch that fucking teleported them in, fucking Birkenstell's doing this, I swear to gosh. I have stated, I actually, like, wrote this on my, Discord that one of the key reasons why Hanyu was not able to make Chapter 10 is that Hanyu is able to take fragments together and make them into a new world. That's how she made Chapter 8. It even stated that she found an insignificant fragment, which probably was the key to saving the world in the end. But she just meshes stuff together by solving stuff together. At least that's how I interpreted it. Birkenstill, on contrast, can take assets from different chapters and put them in different stuff. Prime example is Angie right now in Chapter 4. She's not supposed to be there, but she is because Birkenstill said so. So, unless Birkenstill is trolling the fuck out of me right now, I don't know how the hell this is happening! And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna fucking end things off here. So until then, guys, fuck me. Anyways, see ya.